Hold on, stop. Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, Boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that. Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill.
Oh, this is gonna go downhill real quick.
What is going on? And welcome to Take on the World with
Hey, John.
and
Ben. Hey, Harlan.
Harlan and me, Mike G.
Like the dick.
We have two guests today, and you know what? I forgot to mention our EEOC quota for old people is missing today because everybody here is like a ton younger than me.
Yeah.
We have an EEOC quota for millennials. You guys have more than filled that.
We filled. Oh, that's why we were invited down here.
Yeah, EEOC. Yeah, that's why we had you down. Arlen and Arlen.
Hey, Harlan.
Hey, Arlen. I actually made we do this a lot. Side note, I made T-shirts that say "Hey, John." Hey, Mike. So these two young gentlemen were in Saipan with John and I. If nobody has ever heard us mention it, we were in Saipan.
We met in Saipan and just kind of became friends. Then they they were younger. We were going to like drink beer and hang out after we were done work.
What beer? The funny thing was is we met there and we clicked with it. Like I wasn't sure.
Yeah, we didn't drink beer on the island.
I'm gonna get to the story. Because we were there a week before you guys, and you guys came during our second week. So we're talking about mission trips today, and all four of us ended up on a mission trip to Saipan, which is, believe it or not, part of the United States. For all you people who are like, where the fuck is Saipan? Saipan's in the middle of the South Pacific. It's a small island, 8 miles by 12 miles long. I fell in love with that island. I was there 2 years prior to being there with you guys. I was there with my wife's uncle, another guy from the area. We all went and we realized how freaking hot it is there.
Yeah, 105 degrees.
Oh, it was
and humid.
It was 95 degrees and 98% humidity. It was the worst working conditions I've ever worked in.
Yeah,
I've never sweat more than my life.
Worst freaking week to do roofing ever.
Yes. Well, see, the first time I was there, I actually didn't do roofing. I did electrical work.
Oh, so you were in the shade all the time.
I was in the shade for the first week, but we were there for 3 weeks the first time. And then the second week, I went to do electric on another house. I didn't have a roof on yet. And I'm like, oh my God, it's fucking hot in here. And then I did tile work, which was even worse because you're in a crammed little bathroom. Oh, it was, but every time I've gone, I fell in love with that island. Honestly, I fell in love with that island, and probably for the same reason maybe not for the same reason you guys did, but it's just the people there were so cool.
The Chamorro people.
Yeah.
Well, that and we went for a walk on the beach. Like we're just going down through. We can't even speak the same language as the people up there, and they're having a birthday party. They're like, "Oh, come up."
Yeah.
They're sitting there jibber jabbing around like they invited pretty much anybody who walked up on the beach. Well, it wasn't a walk. We were driving the truck on the beach, and
they said, "What the fuck are these white guys doing?"
Pretty much. And they said that looks dangerous, so why don't you join us for some pork and beans and whatnot?
Look, two young single white guys. Are you married? Are you married?
It was.
You got ring on finger? No.
I'm just gonna leave that thought there.
So, this was not my first mission trip, but it was John's first mission trip.
Very first.
Ben,
my second one. Well, I've never. Yeah, the first one was kind of. I was 17, but yeah.
And where'd you go then?
Texas. We were in Galveston, Texas, like a little island, doing drywall. Like I said before, hence why I'm never gonna get a job as a drywaller.
Yeah. Harlan?
That was my fourth mission trip. So.
And where were you before?
I was in Louisiana. I was in California and Mexico.
Mexico.
Yeah, they have good tequila.
El Mexicana. I love mezcal rather than tequila.
Okay.
I like tequila, but I love mezcal.
I don't think I've ever had mezcal.
Mezcal's a little more smoky.
Okay.
Than
more of a bite to
it. It's deceptively strong.
You ever eat the worm out of the tequila?
Yes, I've eaten a scorpion out of a tequila bottle.
Yeah, me too.
There's one with a snake in it. I'd like to do that.
Yeah, I'm terrified of snakes. I'm gonna pass on that.
It doesn't scare me at all. So we all met there. John and I were there for the first week, and basically we were the kind of outcasts because we're just us. We just like to have fun, and like with the first week, it was like we were still trying to get used to the heat, and then we found out they said there's 2 Mennonite kids coming, and we're like, oh shit. I said, I gotta watch my mouth now. I gotta I'm gonna have to. And then you guys show up.
Wrong.
And like 3 minutes into talking to you guys, I'm like, we're gonna have some fucking fun. We are gonna have fun. And we did. We ended up having a great time.
Yeah. At first, me and Mike had a car. For some reason, they let us rent a car.
When I was there the first time, I had a car, so I was a designated driver. So this time, I requested that I get a car again.
So it was cool because, like, I guess being that it was a mission trip, it was like a group. There was probably like 6 other people in this group.
There's like 10 people altogether, right?
Yeah.
So I guess the idea was like we were supposed to share the car, but we just kind of like
yeah, but we made sure everybody got someplace.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
But,
always mornings you'd always ask like, "Hey, does anybody need to go anywhere today?"
Right.
It kind of worked out at nighttime though because we'd all be in the same vehicle.
Well, we were all fucking tired at night for real.
Yeah.
And we were younger than some of the other people, so that says something. And then these guys were the young guys, like they didn't need to sleep at all, which is cool. But
I remember damn near falling asleep in that fucking restaurant that we spun around in circles.
I have photos.
The first time or second time we ate there.
Yeah, it was fun for the first time. Yeah. It was okay the second time, but the third time I was like, hey, this is getting old. The food wasn't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't great.
It wasn't great, no.
But I mean, for the area, like everything's so fucking expensive there.
Yeah, true.
Everything's got to be flown in. Like nothing is like there. Like there's not much agriculture. Yeah. There's not much. There are a lot of chickens, a lot of dogs. So if you don't mind eating dog, I'm sure that's cheap.
Yeah, you're not gonna have the quality of like cat, but you'll have dog. It'll be fresh though, so that should be better.
Well, the funny thing is, when John and I went out the one night, we went out and ate by ourselves. We went to that Korean barbecue, and it was a place I'd normally never go into. Like I just looked at it, looked kind of dirty, and it was double worse because I'm pretty sure the first time I was there, I saw them cooking a dog out in front of the place. Now they said it was a goat, but I'm not too sure.
It
was just your imagination.
They had it like on some kind of rack, and they were smoking it. It was upright, and then I'm like, and he said, "Let's go either." Well, his girlfriend at I Love Saipan said, "I know good place for you eat."
Yeah, she was shitting on me the whole time.
Oh my god, you got a wife?
You got a Facebook account? You got kids? Where you live in America? I'm like,
you got extra room in house?
Back it up. You're like twice my age. I'm not interested.
You were interested.
Thank you very much.
You were interested.
Yeah, you were looking. That's for sure. Like you at least took one good look.
Well, you gotta. I like that. I like that chick that was at the opposite store. That was, if you pulled out of our hotel and went to the right, that like clothing store.
Oh yeah, that one.
Always went in.
Oh, the one who couldn't get the fanny pack around your waist.
Packer on my fat ass. She was laughing at me. She's like, "This is the biggest one we have. You're too big."
So, why don't you talk about Galveston? What'd you do down there? Like,
mostly drywall, clean up. Like, we were there for 2 weeks.
What's the difference between, like, what you did there and the people and the experience as to Saipan? Besides the fact that me and John weren't there to make it fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing. Galveston, we had a different, it really goes back to, like, what's Don's job title? Like, John would have been, the
project manager or something?
Yeah, something like that. The coordinator we had in Texas, like, he was great, but he's like, 9 o'clock, everybody's in bed, lights out. I'm like, all right, we're here to work. Yeah, we're here to work, but we're also here to have fun. Like, let's go out, play basketball, or hit a bar. But,
Or
you were 17, as you said earlier. Yeah. Or go somewhere, like,
or go somewhere. Other, like, yeah. Yeah. He meant a sandbar.
Yeah. Oh, right on. Yeah.
Like with a sandbar with a boat? Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you meant. Big
difference. Don, on the other hand, was like, you wake up in time for work, do your thing. Like he's really lenient with everything. He was a good guy to work with.
Well, I know the rules on a lot of mission trips are like no drinking, no cigars, and which really bugged me. But so I didn't bring cigars with me on that one. I think I could have really sat out in the balcony and enjoyed a cigar.
I enjoyed a few cigars. Yeah.
But I've been. My first one was in Galena, Alaska.
Oh wow, what was that like?
Galena was man.
He fought with everybody.
That's not true. I fought with.
He somehow pissed off a pastor.
Hold on, that's not. See, that's someone else's story. That's not the true story.
That's a total true story.
That's T's story. That's not the real story. The real story is, I was at a job site the one time. Now, what we did up there is we built houses from the ground up. They had pylons in the ground to raise the houses off the ground, and we would frame an entire house. We did 4 houses in 6 days.
Oh wow!
We completely framed 4 houses in 6 days. So we busted our butt, but they were truss framed houses. So the whole house was a truss, floor, walls, and ceiling. Okay. And so we had a local guy here who went with us, who was he's a crane operator here. So he taught me how to rig 3 trusses at a time, and we would pick up 3 trusses, and you drop the first one, the other 2 would be higher, and then they'd space them, nail them in. Then we just drop the second one, space them, nail them in, drop the third one. He'd come back over, and I'd rig them again. So we had a really good system going. They were cold climate homes, and actually the company who manufactured the cold climate homes came and videotaped us. And there's a video on YouTube with us building the house, because they said now they didn't have the lift there. They were putting stuff up by hand, so a lot of things were different. It took them 2 weeks to build one house.
Wow.
Where we did 4 houses in 6 days. And we were so far ahead in the project by the time we left that like they didn't know what the next group was going to do, because you get to a certain point, they're going to spray foam them. And the spray foam guy was not scheduled till like, a couple weeks down the road. So we were in the middle of Alaska, and like, it's not postcard Alaska. This is just like barren, nothing. It was, to me, it was beautiful. I loved it. It was cold out, but there was flowers growing. So the one day I'm at a job site, and I just moved a whole bunk of wood to where the guy who was in charge of that project, he said, I need this over here. It's kind of in the way. And this other guy shows up. He goes, no, I need that wood over here. So I was...
Wait, this sounds familiar.
I was aggravated, and I'm like, well, this guy said if it's there, it's going to be in his way. And he's like, I don't care. And I'm like, but he's the one who's working on. I didn't move, just move it. So I got pissed. So I'm picking up 20-foot 2x6s, and I'm just throwing them. I threw a whole bunch, and like my wife's uncle's like, you want help? I'm like, no, just leave me alone. I'm just trying to expend some energy because that's the only way I'm going to stop being mad. So then the end of the day comes, I'd moved it, and the other guy comes, he goes, why'd you put that there? I'm like, he told me to put it there. I told him you didn't want it there. He goes, but it's in our way. We're going to have to move that tomorrow. I said, you're going to have to move that tomorrow, because I ain't moving that shit again. So there was only it's just like Saipan, there's only so many vehicles. Well, this guy shows up in a vehicle, and he's like, you're not going to fit. I said, well, I'll sit in the fucking back. I don't care.
Wow.
And he's like, no, you just have to wait. All right. Fuck you, go. So now I'm pissed, and it's 2 miles back to camp. So I said, I'm just going to walk. By the time I get back there, I'll be too tired to argue with anybody. So I walked. And I actually, it was surreal. Walking along the road, looking at the river, the Yukon River, looking at the flowers, looking at the mountains in the background. It was beautiful. I was so calm. And every car that went by would stop. Do you need a ride? I'm like, no, I'm good. Thank you.
Oh, look, it's a Bigfoot.
Yeah. So when I get back, but actually the guy who was in Don's place, he actually came out looking for me. And he goes, Mike, just get in and I'll drive you back. I'm like, you know what? I really need to walk. I really need to get this energy out, because if I don't, I'm liable to punch someone in the mouth, and I don't want to do that. So I walk back, calm down. I get back, I'm good, because I'm tired now. We worked all day. I just walked 2 miles in it wasn't Arctic. It was like 45 degrees. but it was just comfortable. I had a good time. So I get back and I'm talking to the one pastor that's there, and he goes, I told him, that I walked back, and it was a nice walk, and everybody stopped and asked if I needed a ride. And he's like, do you know why they stop and ask if you need a ride? Because they don't like white people up there. They do not like white people. And I'm like, well, I really hadn't thought about it. He goes, picture this. He goes, when I got here, it was 45 below zero with 2 feet of snow on the ground. Any one of those cars could have been in a ditch when I was driving along that road. Do you want to be the guy who didn't stop and help somebody when they needed it? I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. So I go through this. So I go back to work. And these assholes that I work with, I tell them this story, and all of a sudden I was arguing with pastors and everything. So fast forward to going to Saipan, we had our little troll of a guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds familiar when Harold made you move that ladder 6 times.
Yeah.
He just wanted to see how many times you would move it before you got mad at him.
Yeah. I told him I'm not moving it again. I'm not.
Wait, I don't think I've heard this story yet. But
it was the one night we were cleaning up at the first house.
Okay.
What was her name? Maria.
Yeah.
And I forget her husband's name. I have it in my phone somewhere. But anyways, we were cleaning up, and we put this stuff outside that little outside room, like in the garage, where the car
like the walk-in part out front.
Yeah, you guys weren't there yet.
Okay.
And he wasn't happy with it there because I guess people would steal it, and so he made Mike put it inside the room, and then somebody bitched that they didn't want it inside the room and made him pull it back out, and then it wasn't good enough there, so they made him put it in the trailer.
Just Harold being Harold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He couldn't make up his fucking mind, and it was just, I think
Don. You're still equating this to me. You're still making me the asshole.
Yeah, because he saw you. It was
Hold on, but like the second day, you said I'm ready to kill that fucker.
Yeah, he calmed me down. I was,
and I'm like, now you see what I'm talking about?
I forget what he did. I think it was the water.
Yeah, the water thing was.
He yelled at us for drinking too much water.
Yeah. Oh my god. Like, what are you doing with all the water? We're drinking it, dude. You see, I am drenched. This is not water I poured over my head. I'm drenched in sweat.
He'd show up in his AC, cranked up in his truck, and tell us what to do, and then leave again pretty much.
I would get so mad because he would be sitting in that truck for 2 hours.
On the phone.
In the AC.
And then he come out and goes, that's not right. And then get back in the car.
Yeah. He was like, not a leader, just a boss. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Exactly. The thing is he might be a nice guy. He might be. He really, I doubt it, but he might be.
I'll go with the second.
Bend over so I can smack you.
But why can't I bend over? Why can't you just smack me here? Why you gotta make it
far away?
Hey, bend over so I can touch your butt.
I'm gonna smack you in the head, not your ass, you queer.
Anyway, it's so many different personalities getting together that you never know how they're gonna rub. And I get that.
But I think for the most part, I got along with everyone.
Yeah, except with that guy who came at the end.
The weird guy.
Yeah, the weird guy.
Dennis, white hair.
The hippie.
Yeah. Oh, no. You're not thinking. The hippie was the one with the mustache down to here. No.
He was that skinny guy.
He was the protester. He was the professional protester.
Yeah, because we looked him up on his record.
Yeah, he spent the night in jail out west somewhere. Pipeline protester.
Yeah.
That was great.
Like, I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Questionable. Very questionable.
But
he was weird to talk
to. He was weird. And he gave me a real creepy vibe.
Yeah, I got like a child molester vibe.
Yeah, kind of like do you have any daughters vibe?
Yeah. John and I work in a jail for a long time, and you get a feel for people like that, and it's just like he just...
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and remember the one morning I think he was telling us a story? Was very into it.
Yeah.
Like it's just...
And then there was this little boy.
Right.
and a boy. No.
Yeah. There was one thing I was a little nervous about when I first got there. I'm like, yeah, we got to meet in the morning and like do from like, what? You get these prayers and like, we all sit in a circle and like sing Kumbaya. I ain't down with that.
Well, the whole singing thing, I'm not real big on singing.
Actually, I didn't mind that.
Yeah, didn't Dennis like split it up in 2 people? Or in 2 versions?
Right, we
like,
had the whole
one part.
You, maybe you put something in there yet.
Yeah, it wasn't. Once I like went there and saw what it was all about, it wasn't bad.
I gotta say, my favorite part was like about that situation was where Dennis was like hard hat. Yeah.
Work gloves,
Work
a
gloves.
mask.
This has to be safe.
Need a heart rate monitor.
Yeah.
You know OSHA.
Yeah, no OSHA, so don't get hurt.
And you guys can't have hammers on the roof anymore in case somebody would drop one.
Ugh.
He did tell us that. That
He
was
did.
hilarious because then me and Juan started throwing our hammers at him when he'd ask for a hammer. Be like, "Hey, what's up?"
Oh,
Now Juan was a character too.
Juan
I
was
love that
fun.
guy.
Yeah, he was.
Like he's a little lost in life, like drifting. I don't want to say lost. He's just drifting.
Needs to find his place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was a cool dude. I
wonder where he is now.
I just saw he was someplace. He went to Japan, then he went to Korea, and then he went someplace else. And I
seen it on Facebook the other day. I'm trying to think of the name of the place, but yeah, he's
See if I can pull it up here.
definitely seen some cool places.
You guys ever talked to him yet?
I talked to him a couple months after he left, and then back and forth on Messenger, but not really. He's always bouncing around and
Yeah.
different time zone, different places.
was it just you three young guys then? Was there someone else?
The after you guys left, we got 3 Canadians.
But yeah,
Yeah.
they were pretty chill. Like
They were
they were a little more laid back, but yeah, super nice to work with. Like do anything.
I like the old Ben. When old Ben came,
yeah.
that dude knew his shit.
Yeah, he was cool.
Yeah, and he wasn't pushy.
He
just
wasn't pushy.
basically-
He was laid back. He's another Canadian though.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, because Irv was Canadian, and who was the other guy that was with Irv? The tall, skinny guy.
It was Andrew or Arnold.
Arnold.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arnold was cool.
Yeah.
Arnold just wanted to do it. Just leave me alone, do my stuff, dude. And he knew what he was doing too.
Herb was oh, God.
Irv,
Arlen.
Herb was okay, but you could,
he's a nice guy, but
he's just got a little
He
annoying
just
sometimes.
rubbed me the wrong way. Like we weren't seeing. Like he felt he knew a lot more than he did.
Yeah, he was an engineer, so I think like, hey, I'm an engineer, I should know how this works.
And that's the problem. I think like with someone who's a brain surgeon,
Yeah.
no bedside manner. Like because I've been through that with my wife and my daughter. No bedside manner for neurosurgeons. Like they just, but they're good at what they do.
Yeah.
You might be good at being an engineer, but you don't know how to build houses, bro. Like you don't know how to build them. You know how to draw them or engineer them for weight distribution and stuff like that, but you don't know how to build
I just have fun watching you two argue back and forth about purlins and firewalls.
Well,
And
the thing is, I don't know if you guys weren't over there. It was at the last house we worked on, the one you could see from the.
Yeah,
So-
we weren't over there. We were over at the other one.
We were over at
What was her name?
my daughter's name.
What? Surprise!
Cha-ching!
But we had there's a block wall in the back. I'm like, you got to support that block wall somehow, and
Yeah.
like I've built stuff, so like I'm not the smartest person when
You
it comes
didn't
to building.
entertain your idea till Ben came through.
When Ben came through, and the funny thing was, I was on the other side of the wall.
It's okay, Ben. Okay.
Irv didn't know that I heard everything he said, and Ben's out there saying, no, you can't do it that way. You got to support that wall, and you got to do this, and it was everything I had just told him.
Yeah.
And so he comes back around, and I'm doing whatever I'm doing with Grace and what was
Tom.
Grace's husband?
Tom.
Tom, yeah.
Tom, that pink flags guy.
I like those guys. I like Tom and Grace. They were so cool.
Yeah. Really laid back.
Yeah.
Like, just a good time in general.
Yeah.
Although I don't think Grace had a good time at all.
Well, no, because Irv was talking sideways to her, and I said something to Irv about it.
Okay.
Like he was telling her how to sweep the floor, and like
She was sweeping the floor, and he's like, "Hey, Grace, you missed a spot."
I'm like, dude.
She's like,
I said, don't be
totally
disrespectful.
demeaning to her.
Yeah.
Like, don't be disrespectful, dude. So he comes back on the other side of the wall. He starts talking to me. He's like, yeah, well, I decided that maybe you had a valid point, and then we're gonna do this, this, and this. And I'm like, dude, I just told you.
Yeah.
And I said to him, the funny thing was, I heard Ben tell you the same thing. And he just put his head down and walked away. But I could have gotten through that situation and not said that, but that's not me.
Yeah. Well, it's the same. I don't know. That guy just in basically comes back to that matter. Like just in general, he was just
Yeah, he was.
like even to the waitresses, he was just like
Oh
demanding.
yes.
I'm like, dude.
It
I'm
might be.
surprised he didn't like grab their ass and call them toots or something.
Maybe it's a Canadian thing. And the dude ordered like a 6-course meal every meal.
Oh yeah.
Like, so when we were there, like they didn't have when I was there the first time, they had someone who cooked, and they cooked every meal for us. They would go out, do the shopping. They'd come back. We went to a central location.
I was prepared to not eat a whole lot the whole time we were there.
They really were chintzy on the food the first time, and one of the guys that was with me, we'd eat you can only have 2 pieces of bacon. Well, he didn't eat bacon, so he would get his 2 pieces and give them to me. You couldn't fill yourself up before work, and I get it. Things are expensive there. You're on a budget, and you're trying to feed a lot of people, and I get it. And I had no problem spending my money to get whatever I had to eat. I didn't have a problem with it, but they were kind of obnoxious about it. And I expected, and I told them that. I'm like, I expect that, dude, because we're both.
And it was
we're both eaters.
opposite.
Let's face it, we're both eaters. So we got there, and they decided that they were going to take us out to a different restaurant every night because they didn't have someone to cook. They didn't have a central place to have a meal. When I was there before, they rented 2 houses, and that's where everybody stayed.
Wasn't that up on the hill?
Yeah, up on top of Chow.
Yeah.
And so we go out to these restaurants, and this dude would sit there, and he'd order a salad, a main course, and a dessert every meal. And then we get looked at funny when we order chicken.
Yeah, you guys there.
Were you ever went to the chicken place?
I think so. You got a rack or something?
Well, we ordered
a whole chicken.
We ordered. There was a whole order and a half order. I didn't know what that meant.
I didn't either.
Me and him were the first 2 to order because I'm fucking hungry. So I ordered that horseradish chicken, and I said, "Well, I get a whole order." And if you want some, you can have some. If you want some, you can. I offered it to everybody. It wasn't like I sat there and hoarded it and freaking Harold's like, "What? You're getting a whole fucking chicken?" I'm like, I got a whole order. I don't know. I've never been here before.
Yeah. Don't worry, Harold. We'll eat it for lunch tomorrow.
And we did.
Oh yeah.
We killed that shit.
We killed that shit at the restaurant.
Well, it was the next night when we decided that we weren't going to go out to eat with everybody. You felt that overstepped, okay. So, and then they got pissed off because we didn't go out to eat with everybody.
How did you a piece of work?
Because I said to him, we're going to skip dinner tonight. What? I said, we're not going to go. Well, I was the only authorized driver in that car.
Oh, that's right. They asked me, they said, well, what about you, John? I'm like, I put my arm around you. I'm like, I'm going to stick to what my wife says.
Yeah, I do remember.
And that's the night we went to the Korean barbecue and had the best meal ever while we were there. It was, I would never have gone in that place.
See?
Tell that story. Tell the story about when we went to the Korean barbecue.
So dogs do taste good, though, or?
Oh, I've eaten it before. I've eaten dog before.
So, yeah, my Saipan wife.
In the Philippines. Like the guy said, you don't see any cows here, right?
You didn't see any cows there.
No.
Or goats.
There was some cows in Saipan, though. On the north end of the island. I remember seeing the day we got the truck stuck, but that's another story.
Well, you can tell it. Tell a story.
The locals warned us about the cows after we took the Mustang out and hit $130 on the straight stretch. You're like, oh, you guys didn't see any cows. And we're like, no.
Well, they just walk down the road.
Wow, that's impressive. There's not a whole lot of road to go that fast.
Yeah.
That one straight stretch.
It amazed me that you got that car up to that.
I guess something goes.
It amazed me because
you just stop in the middle of the road and get out and lay across the hood.
Yeah. Well, we did that. Photos of that. Yeah.
I got photos of us down at the. I'll throw some photos up on here as we're talking. I have on Instagram it's Mission Mike 911 and on Facebook it's Mission Mike. All the photos from when we were there. There's hundreds of them. But I got photos of you and me laying on the front of the car.
I remember when we did that over on
I had pictures of that too.
But we'll tell that. So tell the Korean barbecue.
So yeah, we went to that was the night we split up. Me and Mike went down into I guess downtown Saipan. What was that part? Garapan. And we went to I Love Saipan. And it's like a big.
He found his future wife.
My future wife. And so then I asked her. I said, "Where's a good place to get Korean barbecue around here?" And she said, right around the corner, and you can't miss it, and you make a left.
You tell him Helen sent you.
Yeah, tell him Helen sent you, so you're spitting your food. And so we get there, and of course Mike's all scared. Oh, I won't go in.
I have OCD. I'm kind of a germaphobe, so if it looks dirty, I don't know that And I said to him, I'm like, dude, that just does not look like a place that I want to eat.
I was like, I don't care, we're going. So I'll go anywhere. I'll go into the...
We got inside, it was clean inside.
Yeah, we go in and...
The outside looked like...
Well, everything on the outside looks run down there.
Yeah.
It's
Washboarded a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think, was that the first night we had, what the hell's that shit called?
Soju.
Soju?
Yeah.
That drink.
Love it.
Yeah. What did they describe that as? It's like some kind of like
Some rice liquor.
rice liquor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's made with sweet potatoes.
Okay.
Not all of them. I think the one in Saipan said it was made
Purple
with
sweet potatoes.
But anyway, so
That's
we
good.
get in there. It's like this whole spread of meat, potatoes, and a grill in the middle. You cook your own food, sort of like almost like a hibachi. And she kept giving us these soyus, and she's like, "You want one each?"
Yeah, when we ordered a soju, it was like, "You each want one?"
I'm like,
And
"Yeah."
I'm like, "Yeah." Like American, man.
You ever have a Four Loco?
Yeah, I had Four Loko when it was still the shit.
And
Back before they cut it down.
Yeah.
so we got a little buzzed up there, I guess.
I did because I was driving.
And right. And so we ate this really good food, and I wasn't sure. We're like, how the hell do we eat this? I'm like, oh, I'm like, just like put it in a lettuce wrap and whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Just eat it. And
Yeah,
but
it's
yeah.
good. It's good.
needless to say, he loved it, and he had a good time. But the funniest part was, I don't know if we told you that. I'm sure we did. But when we left, there was two drunk Korean guys or Asian guys sitting on the porch, and Mike walks through, and they're like, "Holy shit!" Like, Godzilla! Like, you fat boy, you need to go on diet. I swear to God, they said that to him.
That's exactly what they said.
You fat boy, you need to go on diet.
They look like the stereotypical Chinese guy smoking a
Like
cigarette.
laughing at him.
Like chain smoking cigarettes. You need to go on diet.
And they were probably like 4'8" or something.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Then we got in the clown car and like left.
Yeah, like I said to him, I said, dude, I don't really want to get this car right now.
They were laughing at you the whole time. It was hilarious.
Because they gave us the smallest car possible.
Yeah.
Actually, it was the second smallest car. Because they gave us the Kona because the lady looked at me, she goes, you ain't going to fit in the accent. And I'm like, well, I drove an accent last time I was here, and there was 4 of us my size in it.
Good
Poor
Lord.
And that car was scraping. Going up top of Chow,
Yeah.
that car was scraping the ground.
Well, that whole road's just like
Yeah.
watch where
We knew where every single pothole was. We were going
Yeah.
back and forth going up the hill.
Well, I know even the, what was that, a Kona? You guys
Yeah, that
said?
was a Kona.
Yeah, I know even that, like in the back seat, it was a bit tight. But
Well, that's because I had the seat back so
Yeah.
far so I could reach hit the pedals.
laid the seat back pretty much.
Oh, man.
but it all worked out, so.
We took that car out the top cow, didn't we? Or was that the work truck?
No, we took that at the top of Chow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had pictures of you guys standing in a car up on top
I
of
said
Chow.
you guys brought your drone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we did take the
Yeah.
drone up there.
That's
Yeah.
when I learned how heavy my breathing was. Like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is going on here? Is it really that loud?
Well, you were walking uphill, dude. I'm going to stick up for you.
Yeah. It was. I was already. We drove uphill, and I was walking
I got good
across the
pictures
top.
up there of all of us.
Yeah.
I got good pictures of Pablo and you sitting on the rail separate, not
Yeah.
together, not holding hands or nothing. I had a good picture of you when you were flying the drone with your goggles on.
Yeah, I mean, I think I got a few of myself there, too. But did I ever send you those drone pictures then?
You showed me. You sent me the drone picture from above with
Oh, okay.
all 5 of us there, which was cool because like, how else you gonna get that picture? Like we're all like,
You're not gonna, yeah. That's pretty much the only way you
John's
get up
doing
that.
like the whole bikini dance over there, but it's all good. Like,
You know.
and there was
Gotta represent.
there was a lot of stuff to see. Did you guys see everything on the island that you wanted to see? I mean, we wanted to go to Tinny and we didn't get there, but
For the most part, we met a couple of the locals, and one of the locals took us into that underwater cave.
yeah, we didn't get there. That's
Yeah.
see, that was pretty neat.
a little
Yeah.
envious of that.
Yeah. Well, you went along on that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I was along that. That's
Seen a jellyfish, like, as we're
Mhm.
swimming in the cave, and I'm just like, oh, I had no idea what they look like. Like, I've never seen a jellyfish before.
Yeah.
Didn't you see a shark?
Yes, I have a picture of a shark when I was scuba diving because I went scuba diving over the weekend.
We went to. Did you guys go over to Tank Beach?
Tank Beach being the
That would
one.
have been the opposite side of where our hotel was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were over there. We went over there with was it Jesse?
Jesse, yeah, that was we worked on Jesse's parents' house.
Right.
Went cliff jumping.
Yeah, won't do that again. No. Well, maybe. No.
Now, the first time I was there, Tank Beach, they had machine gun emplacements on the beach. But when we were there from that second storm, it had washed them away.
Was the water just as warm on the other side?
Yeah.
I would have said so, yeah.
We had, remember Dean? No. Oh. You guys didn't meet Dean. Dean was
he was, yeah.
Texas dude? No.
He's the dude who got the Kona after me.
Yeah.
Because when he was coming in, they said they were going to try to get him the bigger car too because he's a big dude.
He was huge. This dude was jumping off, scuba diving. He's in his 70s.
Yeah,
he was
like
awesome.
super cool.
That's what I want to be like when I'm 70. I just want to go scuba diving.
Yeah. He's jumping off the cliff and just pretty much, I think he got his first, not scuba diving, but his first pair of goggles. He was just sitting there.
Yeah, just floating around like, yeah.
He was
That's awesome.
Really tall dude, part Navajo. Like, he was just a hoot. We had a lot of fun. Yeah. First day I met him, I just started picking on him. Talk with the guy. Stood right back. I'm like, all right, we're going to get along.
So what did you find remarkable about the island? I mean, like, what stands out?
Clear water. Like, that was the first place I've ever been where I've seen just crystal clear water for
The
70
Chinese
feet
tourists
down.
stand out to me.
We kind of had that problem when we slid around the corner and they were parked broadside in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the Chinese tourists would rent the brightest color Mustang you could.
Yeah, it didn't really matter on the car brand. It was just, it had to be bright red, pink, orange,
green,
whatever.
Yeah. And they'll drive down the road, just stop in the middle of the road, turn broadside, and lay on the hood of the car and take pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, like most of them, I mean, they weren't that great. They weren't bad, but they weren't great.
Well,
kind of like the food we mentioned earlier. But
the first time I was there were some young kids and I had the car, so they wanted to go out. They went to hike out to Forbidden Island, and I know my news couldn't have taken a hike, so I'm like, I'm fat. I'll stay in the car. You guys take as long as you want, and I'll just stay in the area, and I'll keep checking, the trailhead every 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever. If you're 3 hours, I don't care. Just go have fun. So I went up and I sat in the overlook, and when I got up there was 2 Chinese guys and a Chinese chick. She's standing up on the guardrail overlooking the Forbidden Island, buck naked, and they're taking pictures. So I walked up, I got my camera, and I just go like this, and they look at me. I'm like, "What?
You should have got buck naked too and walked out next to her. Man, don't mind me.
Get in my belly.
Just doing a photo shoot over here.
Yeah.
I wish I would have seen more World War II shit. I don't know how much they have on that island.
Well, we saw the command center. Did you guys get to see that?
Was that close to where we swam out of the tanks or no?
No. The Japanese command center was like, if you were going out to Bird Island, it was on the right hand side there where the guns were. You can see them from the side of the road.
Yeah.
If you walk up there, there's a cave, and that's where the Japanese command center was.
Where they had all like the Jap tanks.
Yes. Yeah.
We went there with you guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I know Pablo was there with us.
Yeah. Because we kind of met up above there and then followed you down through.
Yeah.
Because we both started off.
We met you at Suicide Cliff.
Yeah.
Yep.
You guys were in the truck.
Yeah, that was before we got the truck stuck.
That's funny. That truck was there the last time, 2 years before that. That was the same truck that was there when I was there.
I think I was hitting on some freaking
old Korean lady,
Asian lady that was there. You remember when we took our picture in front of that sign?
Yeah.
I know that chick wanted me.
Yeah, I'm sure she did.
I should.
How could she not? How could she not, bro?
How could you not like all this? You know what I'm saying? I make good money. You come back America, me. I make good money. That's all they care about.
Tell us about getting the truck stuck.
Well, I have a paranoia of like being in the woods after dark. So like my blood pressure is going through the roof. Like I hate being in the woods after dark.
Well, to start off, we're following we're at the north end of the island here, and we get on this dirt road. Like, oh, this looks great. And the further we go, the narrower this road gets, and it keeps on going like down towards the water. It's slightly downhill, not super steep, but after a while we get to a point where we can't really turn around, and it's the middle of the afternoon, so we just send it
I said something to you about it. Do you think we should go down? Because it literally went like this and dropped down. And I said something to Harlan. I was like, "You think we should do that?" Or no, this seems like a bad idea. And he's like, "Well, that's never stopped you before."
That's true.
Anyway, yeah. We fully sent it down there, and we got down to the beach. We looked around a little bit, and we said we're gonna go back up. Well, the truck's only 2-wheel drive, so how was it? Did we fully send it the first time, or did we try to creep up over?
I tried creeping up, it didn't work, so back down. Second time up, I centered it on the rear axle.
Yeah, like the rear axle, we got stuck on
a
top of a
rock.
rock, and both wheels were spinning. We weren't going nowhere.
How'd you get it out?
You took a jack and lifted the rear end.
Yeah, we had the emergency jack that comes like with the truck, lifted the rear axle, took a ratchet strap that somehow we had in the back of the truck, and tied it to a tree and pulled it off the rock. We backed up and just sent it again and actually made it. But
well, we got a little more strategic about sending it. Like, hey, if we go on this side and then head back on the other side, kind of work our way up through while just completely flooring it. But in my defense, our coordinator told us to go out and take the truck and go. What do you describe as bushwhacking?
I think he said bushwhacking. Yeah.
We both looked at him and we're like, where are we gonna go bushwhacking? Go out on the island. All right, good.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense now.
Was not sure where he was going with that.
Yeah, in the end, we made it out unharmed. The truck seemed to work fine yet.
We busted the mirror off and you fixed it with a piece of wood.
Yeah, I did fix it with a piece of wood. I think we ran a roof screw in it the next day at work then. But either way, nobody knew, and like it had been through places before.
The cross-eyed guy up the street.
That truck was a couple places before.
Oh yeah.
I happen to know that.
What'd you guys do with it?
I don't remember.
I can't remember. I think I drove that home one day. I can't remember.
But didn't
I think I drove out. No, that was what's his name's truck?
You drove his orange truck home.
Oh, that thing was nice.
Yeah.
Like he let you drive
Harold.
that? Harold let you drive that?
Yeah.
I don't think he was happy about it.
We got the smallest rental car available. He got the biggest truck on the island.
Yeah, pretty much.
But next to the
Fucking
MDS
diesel.
truck, that one was pretty big.
Yeah. He
What
comes
Harold
blowing
drive?
diesel stacks down the freaking highway.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's just for compensation, though, so
Yeah.
no big deal.
It turns out the only diesel station's at the other opposite side of the island. I'll be back in a couple hours, guys.
Just spending all the donations here. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
I actually went and visited the family that we had done their house the time I was there 2 years before you guys. And they didn't know who was pulling up because I had a beard. Like I didn't have I only had the goatee when I was there last time. And I get out and I had my beard. And they're like, she's looking at me. She goes, "Oh my God, Mikey!" Like right away, she knew who I was, and they invited me into their house because they had told me before, "You ever come back to this island? This is your house." And that's just how appreciative the people were there.
Yeah, you remember when
compared to the other places I've been.
Yeah.
Remember when we left Maria's house? She was in tears.
Yeah.
Well, didn't she make her? No, that wasn't Maria.
That was the
first
other
place
one.
we were at where we did the roof. Didn't she make something for us before we left, like yellow rice?
No, that was her husband. He made like the tuna
Okay,
fish,
yeah.
the chicken,
that
the
was
curry
really
chicken,
good stuff.
the
too.
rice. Yeah.
But, like the family that we helped the first time that I went back and visited, when we were done with their house, they put a meal together, like a barbecue together, and they have
that's right.
some kind of chicken gravy on their chicken. Anyway, it's really good. But I know it was like it couldn't have been cheap for them.
They go all out. Just
And
to
they
treat
didn't
you like
have
a
anything,
host.
but they just felt so appreciative. And I know when I was in West Virginia, and the people were like, "Thank you, you know, you're helping us."
Yeah.
But like there was always like the last house was Eric. Eric was there every day he wasn't working. Now he worked for a company that did stuff with boats and rescue craft and stuff like that. But every day he wasn't working, he was there working with us, carrying stuff out. And when we were gone at night, he was carrying, like, we didn't have to take all the drop-off pieces. He took them all out. He took all that stuff out. And, you know, just so appreciative of the help and whatnot. But, like we were up in I went up in Bradford County. We built a couple bridges up there from flooding. And the one lady up there had 2 dogs. And one of them, they were both pity mixes. And the one was a boxer mix. And like I love those dogs. The one dog would just sit there at the window while we're doing the roof, just sit there and look at me all day, looking out the window. And so every once in a while, she'll send pictures to the lady from the organization I work with, Team Orgsburg, and she'll send pictures of the pups for me just because, like, I love those puppies so much. Like, the one would come out and play with me every day. He gets so excited when he saw me. And, like, she was appreciative. It's like, she was always very appreciative. And her grandson was there. Like, a 16-year-old kid was up on the roof with us. And, like, this roof was, like, 10 layers of cedar shakes, shingles, like shingles on top of shingles on top of shingles. It was
the sponge.
It was horrible. But we got that all stripped off and put it up. That kid was up there with us all weekend long until he had to go back to school on Monday. You know, so that was a little different. But like in Saipan, like everybody was just so thankful we were there.
Everybody treated you like their next door neighbor.
Yeah.
Literally. Like it didn't matter who you were, everybody was super friendly.
That's why I fell in love with that island. Like I'd go back there anytime.
Like, right. I mean, the island is a nice place, but it's the people.
Right.
It's not something you get over here.
No. You don't have people being that appreciative and that thankful. And in St. Croix, when I was in St. Croix, my wife went with me. My wife's uncle went along, and it was hot down there. But like the one lady we were helping, she was the nicest lady in the world. But it was like, you know, what else can you do for me?
Kind of like you owe me this, like you owe them something, kind of.
Yeah. And,
wow.
And like. And she never came out and said anything like that, but she goes, well, I have this. Are you guys going to do this? Are you guys going to do this? And, like, I'll gladly do it. Gladly. Because, like, she wasn't someone who could do it for herself. But her husband was someone who could have done some of the stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, they didn't really lift a hand to help. And I'm not there to judge anybody or their situation or what their knowledge is and whatnot. So I just happily do the work and do what needs to be done. But both times I was in Saipan, I felt so rewarded with the experience.
Yeah, they
not just
like
with
living in freaking old
right
FEMA tents.
Not just with the work. Yeah, the family that I helped the first time, they lived in that tent for a year, like literally in a shanty for a year while their house was being redone.
It's sort of how with the second house we were.
Yeah,
like they had a tarp. No, there was a tent in the front yard.
Yep.
The whole family was living out there. They had like a TV in there. They had little kids living in there, and they would get picked up at the school bus every morning. And you would walk into the kitchen area, and there was a tarp over the roof, but when it rained, it was just pouring into the front house.
When we left that house, the last day we were there, when Eric came over, brought the kids over, both of those kids gave us the biggest hug. And I was like, I felt like, you know, it just, like, they were like, thank you so much, you know. And within a week after we left, they could move back in that house.
Yeah.
Because Ben was there, and Ben, like, old Ben was there, and he busted that out. And they have pictures of it done for me because I wanted to see it done. And Eric had sent me pictures. And actually, I talk to Eric every once in a while. It's been a while, so I'll probably hit him up this weekend now that we're talking. But just to say, hey, what's up? But you just felt so appreciated there. And like I said, I was in Alaska, West Virginia, St. Croix, Saipan twice, and we were supposed to go to North Carolina this past year, but Corona.
Yeah.
Plus, I had Corona when we were supposed to be there. Like I got the Rona.
How bad was it?
It was bad. It was the worst flu I ever had.
Okay.
But I also spent 7 days in the hospital because I ended up with multifocal pneumonia, and I don't remember 2 of those days. Like, I legit, I kept on saying 5 days in the hospital. My wife said, no, you were in the hospital for 7 days. I was in the hospital for 5 days. He goes, no, it was 7.
Yeah, well, that definitely does not sound like fun, but.
No. No. So, you know, and we work someplace where one person gets Corona, it's going to run rampant.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
But back to Saipan, like, the biggest thing for me is, like, their thankfulness, their whatever. Everybody's genuine. You know what I mean? Like, they're not just like, oh, thanks, but really. Yeah.
Well, when you go into restaurants there, they have a local price, and then they have a tourist price. And they'd always ask us, like, the first time I was there, they'd always ask, are you local? And I'm like, well, not really. We're here with MDS and FEMA doing No, you're local.
Yeah.
Like when I went out to Mahanaga Island, the the first time I went there, I went scuba diving. It was the first time I scuba dived. It was like a discovery dive. So you had to go take a class, and then they took you out in the surf, and they showed you how to do everything. And when you get off the boat there, if you're not a local, if you don't have a CMNI ID, it's a $5 charge just to come on the recreation island, which is not a big deal.
Yeah.
But when I got off, the guy came up to me. He goes, "You local? And you have a CMNI ID?" And I'm like, "No, we're here with MDS doing rebuilding from the Typhoon." And he said, "No, you're local. You're family." And I'm like, look at that. I'm like, because I'm reaching for my wallet. I'll give you the $5.
Yeah.
And he's no. He goes, "You put that away. You're local."
That's awesome.
Yeah. And when we went to, I took the kids out one night. I call them kids, but they were all 21. We went down to Hard Rock Cafe, had a couple drinks, and the waitress came over, asked the same thing, "Are you local?" And like she's holding 2 menus.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, but we're here with MDS." Blah, blah. She gives us the local. You're locals.
Yeah.
You know, that and that family said, "This is your house. When you come back to this island, this is your home. This is where you stay."
But even Doris, the last house we were at, the blue one, she was like, "If you guys ever come back, just call me or Jesse. He'll come pick you up at the airport." Like,
yeah, that was Well, didn't Doris's sister invite us over to their house for a birthday party? Like they had a birthday party for one of the families, and they're like, "Yeah, all you guys are included." The not the Russians, the Canadians came with us.
Yeah. And Doris, that was the one we went over. I think it was like the last night we were there. You kind of ended up falling asleep, and I had to arrange the flights. But anyway, what I was getting at, they made us each a cake like before we left.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, yeah, they were like, "Here, this is for you guys." Like, well, we're leaving tomorrow, but thank you very much.
Her nephew gave me some locally grown, and I immediately.
Yeah, he was like, we're sitting out there in the porch, and they're having like a barbecue, and after about 10, 15 minutes, he's just like, "Well, I think I'm going to go out to the truck." And I come out there, and he's just kind of curled up there in the passenger seat. It was a good time. But
I did not drive back.
He slept back like the entire way. You did wake up at like, what was it, 2 or 3 o'clock
2 or 3 in the morning, pack my bags, we're good to go by 6, yeah.
Damn.
But no, it was just like the people in general were really super friendly. Just something you don't see around here. And I really enjoyed that, like kind of made the whole trip.
What about when we went down to that big casino?
We were actually going down to the beach club. We were walking through the back streets, and they were offering massages.
Yeah. $200. No, I'm not interested. 150? Like, no, we're good.
You want a massage? Ben tells him the big guy, I think, wants a massage. You want a massage? I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good, thanks.
Oh yeah. He says, yeah, he does.
He wants one, yeah. It's only 150. Like you can make that in a day. What?
Yeah, it was cool. We went to that bar on that beach bar.
Yeah.
And didn't we run into 2 other people while we were there? Oh, or was it just us 4?
I think it was.
I think Juan was there too.
Juan was with us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 'cause we got one.
God damn it, I don't remember.
They didn't even card one.
They had those dancers there. We were watching that show
Well,
for
they
a while.
didn't really. Well, they did.
That's where that was the evening we basically walked all over the town.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Got a little,
We started at that little bar on the one street, and we walked down. We walked out to the beach bar, and
well, we were actually the beach bar. That was part of the hotel. I'm not sure if we were even supposed to be there.
I don't think we were supposed to be there.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
Charlie, this is my room, 223.
Right.
That one bar that we went to was pretty cool. Like that sliding wooden door.
Yeah, that was the first bar we went to that night.
That was a pretty cool place.
Met Jen and her friend.
Yeah, that was the first night we kind of went out together.
Yeah.
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 And we stopped at the firehouse. Well, I'm big on like police patches and stuff, and we stopped at the firehouse, talked to the firehouse guys, and
yeah.
You got some patches.
Yeah, I got some patches. Yeah. One of my buddies is a police officer in the local town over here, and he collects like he's a hardcore collector of patches. So I made sure he got one. I got him one from Galena, Alaska, too.
Oh wow!
I got 2. I got the whatever the one where all the MDS stored all their products, the wood and stuff. And
Yeah, those guys were basically the state police.
Yeah. And then we drove up to that one place in the hills.
Oh
To
yeah,
a police station. Yeah. And they had the boat in there and everything.
Yep.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. I remember we went there. Were we with you guys, or was that
I
later?
think you were.
I think we went there when you guys went to pick up your patches.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Man, I remember those two chicks in that meeting, the MDS like headquarters there. I was like, God, I gotta get on this freaking session. Like, how do I? Or no, they weren't. They were with FEMA.
Well, yeah. And the funny thing was,
I gotta get a job with FEMA.
We could have went back because we were like, I brought up the fact that the time I was there before, I ran electric for everything.
Yeah.
And I won't touch electric if it's live because it scares the shit out of me. But I know how to run. Okay, whatever. I know how to run electric. And I mentioned it to him because we kept on being told by Harold that we don't do that.
Yeah,
we don't do that. I'm like, I can't leave this wire just hang in the ceiling and close it. I can't do that. And the lady said, no, we absolutely we do that. That's the necessity. We just don't run for HVAC. We don't run electric for air conditioning.
I thought she said they do that.
Well, she said you probably could, but you can't say that's what it's for.
Yeah, it's the whole.
But so we actually had the opportunity to go back and just do that, but we had to go on without MDS. We would have been fending for ourselves for food and everything, and that's
I would still do it.
That's a hard sell.
Yeah.
I would
at the time, they were going to pay our airfare, but everything else, we would have to live off our per diem.
Your airfare alone's like what?
$3,000.
3 or 4 grand.
Yeah.
35 or $3,800 bucks.
Yeah.
Round trip.
First class. I looked up first class for the way back.
$10,000.
Yeah, it's like
Jesus
nope.
Christ.
Nope.
I just wanted to sleep in one of those little beds on the plane.
Right, even first class, that would have been awesome for the way back. But
we did upgrade to every plane we could. I upgraded us to where we had a little more leg room.
Okay. Wait, is there a tall people seat?
no, there's just a seat at the front, close to the door. They have 4 feet of leg room instead of being
at the emergency exits.
Yeah.
The wing exits. I always try to get those seats.
I remember when I first got on when I got on the plane from Chicago to South Korea, and I sit down
Detroit.
on Detroit to South Korea, and I'm like,
It was Tokyo, but anyway, continue.
No, we went to South
Oh,
Korea.
you went to South Korea.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
really? They're not supposed to send you to South Korea.
That's the first thing Harold said to us.
We went to South
Korea?
Really?
You're not supposed to do that. I'm like, we just
Sorry, I was tugging on the pilot's shoulder to take us to Tokyo, but
I said, hey, Harold doesn't want us going here.
but
Turn this plane around right now.
Harold says so.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting in this chair and I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be a fucking long ride. It's tight, right? And I look down and I see a pair of slippers, and I'm like, I looked at the guy next to me. I'm like, what the hell are the slippers for? And I think he might have been I think he was a flight attendant. He's like, well, you see all these guys walking around in business shoes? He's like, yeah, they're not very comfortable. I'm like, well, slipper. I'm like, fuck, if I could bend down and get those, I would totally put them on.
I would
like,
totally put them on.
But it ain't happening. So I kind of pushed him under the seat like this.
Well, the first time I went, we flew into Narita, and on our plane from Narita to Guam, we were on it was 4 seats in the middle, 3 seats on both sides. So it was a huge plane, but there was no one in my row. So I laid across all 4 seats. The only time I woke up is when they brought the food out. They brought some good food on that plane. Well, they brought us the Dove ice cream bars.
Hungry, that's all. But anyway,
the Dove ice cream bars,
Yeah.
like the Magnum bars. They brought them out at one point as a snack. I'm like, yeah, it's fucking ice cream. I'll eat it. Look at me, I'm fat. Do I want one? Stupid question.
I forget the woman got fed twice. I think it was.
That was from Detroit to Korea. And then we got to Korea. I saw a Krispy Kreme in the Korean airport. I'm like, I'm getting a Korean Krispy Kreme. I don't care.
We flew into Narita, and on our flight, I lost you, you lost me, whatever. Anyways, I go outside the airport, come back in. Didn't even have to show my passport.
Oh, really?
Yeah, their security's top notch.
Well, my first time, I said I want to get a stamp in my passport
Tell about that weapon you freaking
Oh Jesus!
snuck through security.
Do you know the knife I had
Yeah.
at the job site? I had it in my bag. Well, I forgot it was in my bag. But now I have a wallet that is RFID blocking. So when you scan it, it just shows a big black square. Well, it must have been in front of this knife, but I went through. I left Saipan with it in my carry-on over my shoulder. Got to Narita, went through Narita with it. Got to Chicago, went through Chicago with it. We got back to Allentown, and
No, you found it when we were in Chicago.
oh, did I? Okay, I'm like,
You're like, dude, what the fuck? I'm like, well, where did that come from? And we had just walked through the freaking security, right to the metal detector.
because when you come back into continental United States,
Yeah.
you got to go through
You gotta go
TSA
through
again.
Yeah.
and we had just made it through, and I'm like, how the fuck did this get through every security ever?
Yeah, that's pretty alarming.
That was
Yeah, it's kind
because it wasn't like a little blade. It's a big
It's got
fucking
a
knife.
4-inch
Yeah.
blade on it. Do some damage with that.
You wrap your knife in RFID blocks and stuff, you'll be fine.
But the wallet would show a big
Yeah.
square, and if the knife was behind it, it just wouldn't show it.
Well, now you know. I mean,
Yeah.
But now I take my CPAP machine because I always take that carry-on,
Okay.
and they give me a hard time about that. Looks like a bomb. All the hoses and shit coming out of it.
Yeah.
What is that? It's a CPAP machine. Are you sure? Yeah.
I think I had to go through security like 4 times in Narita on the way out.
That's because you just kept on saying, "Check my ass, check my ass."
Then that lady gave me a hard time because I wanted Japanese coins.
He wanted
You
his
find hard
change
time.
in Japanese coins.
I gave her a 20. I paid for a couple beers, gave her a 20, and she gave me American bills back. And I'm like, no. I'm like, oh, I want Japanese money. And she's like,
I'm not do that.
no can do.
really? You stupid American. And she made a big fuss about it.
But she gave it to me, no problem.
You look like the friendlier one or something.
That must be it.
Yeah.
I look friendly.
How the hell did I get
He
so
looks
fight
like
with
the
her? You
reasonable
did.
one. We'll work with him.
Oh, well, whatever. I got my coins.
So you did get some coins then?
I did, yeah.
I got Korean money. I actually went up to the exchange at the Korean airport because we were not expecting to go to Korea. But we got to that airport was so cool.
Yeah, that was a cool
There
airport.
was a robot running around. Like there's a robot running around the airport. So I got a picture with the robot, and I went to the exchange and exchanged like $25. He wanted some for his daughter. I wanted coins and paper money for both my kids. So I got like 10,000 yen up there, or Nuin, or whatever the hell it is there in Korea.
Yuan.
Money. I got 10,000 money.
I got 10,000 monies.
Monies.
I had a bowl of fish ball soup when I was there. It was like $2. It was awesome.
Cost of living's like way down from here.
I don't know.
Well, the exchange rate was like outrageous.
Okay.
Like $1 was like 1,500.
Yeah, something weird
Korean.
like that.
Yeah.
I think like I bought a bottle of Korean whiskey. It was shaped like a little Buddha. That was like 65,000 yen or something like that. And I'm like, it turned out it was like $15.
$12.
Okay.
But if you have to have your passport with you to buy any booze.
Yeah. And then they seal it,
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
Like the evidence tape over it.
and you're not allowed to open it until you get through customs. Like we were worried because we bought stuff in Narita, and then you have to check everything again. You have to pick up your check baggage, and then in Chicago,
Retrack it again.
and recheck it. And I'm like, oh man. And you're not allowed to open. You're not supposed to open nothing. But I opened my bags and threw my stuff in there. Fuck it.
There's, I don't know, customs is, some places really strict. Like, we walked into, what was it? Saipan there, and they had the dogs there. The first thing I do is I walk up and I start petting the dogs. No, you can't pet dogs. I know. I just don't want you coming after me in my bag. Have a great day.
Yeah. Get out of here. Okay,
Yeah.
if you say so.
Then
Yeah.
sounds good to me.
Went over, petted the dog, and, but yeah, they had like 4 dogs there. And we're like checking everybody coming into Saipan.
when we left, there was a dog checking the line as you went through. In Guam. That's where it was.
No, this was when we came into Saipan, they had the dogs.
Or maybe it was Saipan.
I think. Oh,
Chicago, not this time, but when we went to St. Croix, they had a dog there checking everybody that went through.
That Detroit layover sucked ass.
Oh, that was.
So did the Guam layover.
What? Let's see.
Detroit was like 14 hours, and Guam was like 12.
We had. Or 24.
We should
Well,
just.
we had 12 in Guam. I think we turned it into about 36.
Like we came in, we flew in the afternoon.
Yeah, we were supposed to fly out at 7 o'clock the next morning. We never really went there, but anyway, it was my 21st birthday, and we decided we'd go out in the town a little bit, and
last thing I remember before going to bed is you calling somebody Ralph in the bathroom. Ralph!
Hey, you missed the good part. First off, one of the parts I remember is we ended up trying to sing karaoke to Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses in a bar, and it didn't go well, but it was a good time.
Directly after we tried singing it, though, like 6 of the locals brought us like all types of like.
Yeah, like everybody.
Oh, you guys are good!
Yeah, look at this.
Oh, Axl Rose!
Yeah.
And then we met there was a couple of locals that we kind of stepped around the building, and
Kate, his name started K. Ouch or something.
I know we were supposed to meet up with them again later. I don't think we ever did, but anyway, we walked around the corner, and yeah, they helped us out a little bit, and it was a good time. But I fell asleep probably 2 hours later.
All drugged up.
Nah, you skipped out on the part where you got kicked out of the pool, but
oh yeah, we did get kicked out. We went back, and we decided we're gonna go swimming in the pool. Well, it's closed at like 10. Pool and hot tub. Anyway, we're in the hot tub, and you don't get a hot tub. I mean, trunks on. Nobody does that. And he goes back up to the room to get some food because obviously he's hungry at this point, and I turn around and there's security tapping me on the shoulder. I'm like, oh, nice. How you doing?
Oh my god.
Like, could be here.
Hey, you need to get out of the pool now. Put pants on.
Pretty much. But anyway, I hustled back up there, and yeah.
Entertaining. Guam's definitely a place I'd go again too. We accidentally drove on the Air Force Base.
Oh yeah, we drove on. We drove onto the. We got up to their security gate, but no big deal. They just said, "Oh, some dumbass tourists again," and we're like, "Just turn around and go the other way." But it all worked out. Definitely,
Guam?
I would rather go to Saipan over Guam, but Guam it's a nice island.
Guam's more of a tourist island. However, I will say this about the local restaurant, that shrimp shop we visited. I come back there and got their whole tequila setup or whatever. Like, they had a whole bunch, what do you call that? Like,
Flight?
Yeah, flight of tequilas. And the cook remembered us. Like, hey, you made a blast, and he came out, shook her hand, gave us a hug, and she was like, yeah, that's still kind of in Guam, but not as much. Saipan, everybody remembers.
Right, but even like, I mean, that was 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And we had been there maybe twice the first time we were there. Yeah, but anyway, and they remembered us when we came back the second time 3 weeks later. So that's saying something there.
When I flew out the first time, we had a 12-hour layover both ways in Narita. But when we got to Guam, like they were calling us, like,
where you guys at?
Yeah, your plane's leaving. So we were running. If you can imagine all this running.
On the way back, yeah.
Well, I kind of imagine it as like a brisk walk, but
no, it was a run. It was ugly, but it was a run. I might have knocked some kids out on the way.
Out of the way, crotch stain.
But we got out to the tarmac and got on the plane just before it took, like, we barely got our seat buckled and it took off.
And they were gone, yeah. Well, I think they said in Saipan they only had one flight in and out at, what was it, 7 in the morning?
Every other day.
Okay.
Yeah, every other day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
And it was 7 o'clock in the morning. What? It must have been
we were
Saturday and Sunday.
Sunday, yeah. Saturday and weekends they do it every day. Other than that, it's every other day because they didn't have my contact info. They just had my email, so they're sending me emails. We had no service. Finally get back to them in the afternoon, like, yeah, we'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, so it's interesting time. I just like the fact that when we walked in, Don's like, "Well, so how was the partying?"
Yeah, Don was like read it like a
We've
book.
never met this guy before.
Yeah, he knows.
He had an interesting story. I like
Yeah.
hearing everybody's story, everybody's background, and he had some interesting stories. Got to talk with him the one night when we were, I think, at the rotating
Yeah,
restaurant. We got to talk to him, and
I started asking him about his flying experiences and stuff, and he just went on for like the whole dinner time talking.
I could have listened to him all night.
Yeah. Wasn't one of those people that you talk to that's like, all right, stop talking. You know what I mean? Like, just, yeah.
My fingers swell.
Oh, why'd your finger swell? Well, I got this engineering from engineering school.
They just cut it off. I could never cut it off.
Yeah. No, Don was
Sacrilege.
Yeah. Don was like a really humble guy.
Yeah.
Like, he was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the other thing, like, he didn't mind telling somebody. Like, if he had a problem with you, he's gonna tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd come up, tell you what you
Like
were doing wrong, and
There was no bullshit.
I forget what his wife's name was, but I called her the wrong name. Like,
Rachel.
yeah.
I called her something else for like 2 days. And she finally just said, "My name's Rachel." I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." I'm horrible with names. I did not forget hers again.
Yeah, they lived in Africa for years, he said.
Yeah.
Thought that was pretty interesting.
Lived in Africa. Didn't he transport planes for a while? Like,
Yeah.
where he would deliver planes and then fly back?
Yeah, he said he would do like emergency deliveries for companies who needed like a certain kind of gasket for something.
Kidney.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he would fly it from Indiana to Jersey on an overnight flight. Charge them something.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Like $3,000 for this gasket. No problem. We need 2 of them.
So we had a lot of fun. We did a lot. There was a lot, besides all the fun we had, there was a lot of work that happened too.
Yeah.
And,
Knocked out 3 houses, I think.
Yeah,
3
we
or
had-
4 houses total.
I mean, I think
No.
me and you had worked on 3 different ones.
Yeah.
and we worked on 2, but the second one we did was it
We
was in
didn't.
bad condition.
It was really bad.
Didn't the second one, Don said FEMA wouldn't even allow some of the stuff he wanted to do, so we're just going to kind of push it through?
They visited that house, like 10 agencies had visited that house,
Yeah, we're like,
and
nah.
nobody would touch it.
Yeah,
And Don said, "I can't walk away from it. We have to do something for him," which was cool. And kudos to him for stepping up and
Yeah.
taking that project on, because like that when we got there, but that first day I walked in, I'm like,
Yeah, I was like, this is fucking hopeless.
Really?
Like,
really?
we spent probably like a good 3-4 days just cleaning everything out of the way. Like the whole side of the house was
Taking everything out
debris.
across the street and laying it down.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I remember when we dropped you guys off the one morning, we had walked around, and it was, the back half of the house was just a mess.
Yeah.
The other thing, wasn't there a fence back there? Like,
Yeah.
You didn't
Yeah,
have
there
much
was the
room to
wall and
work.
then a fence right behind it.
Yeah, you didn't have much room to work.
No.
back to Don, like, going through with houses. So the one day when we decided we're going to stay another week, Don was like, hey, once you listen in an afternoon, he took me with him. We went to look at different houses, and he kind of told me what he does, say, hey, this house is doable, this and isn't. And he's like, and sometimes if I just feel it, like, this house needs done, he said, whether FEMA's not going to push it through or not, he'll still go through with it. So, like, I think he does some of that from time to time.
But good for him, because like these people needed help. Like
Yeah.
they needed it. And no one else was willing to step up because they were just so much involved in that project. But by the time old Ben came, we had that in a position where he could with the guys that came with him, the young kids, and they just ripped through that and got it done.
That guy was a blessing. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and
You know-
especially if you have people like old Ben there, that's what he's done for a living. Like, he can build a house from the ground up
Yeah.
in his sleep. Well,
Yeah.
not quite, but
See, that's what like
I remember when I cut that I cut the piece of plywood and I thought it was 16 inches on center and it was like all off. And it was supposed to go underneath the trusses and or the rafters. And he's like, "Oh, I see what you did there." He's like, whips out his like little wooden ruler and he's like, and he just rattles off like these numbers. Cut this number, this number, this number, this number, and this number. You should be good. And I was like, okay. And I caught him and it fit perfect. I'm like,
yeah.
Like,
And
that's
all he
awesome.
did was glance at it and
Yeah.
figure it out. But like, for every Harold and Irv, there's a Ben, there's you guys, and like that's what I like. Like I met on all the mission trips I've been on, I've always met people who like I just want to keep in contact with them because they're just cool as shit.
Yeah, I mean, you always meet somebody. It seems on a mission trip, you always meet at least one or two people that you want to get back to and
Yeah.
click with. I mean, so
Like Irv, like if I never see him again, I'm okay with that.
I am.
Harold, if I don't even hear his name, I'm okay with it. Like nobody named Harold can be in my life, and I'll be fine.
Harold.
I will
You
say,
didn't have the luxury of driving to the work site with him the one day.
No, you were telling me about that.
Oh
dude.
my
It's just
God.
like the conceit.
the
that he had.
self-righteous prick
Yes.
that he is just annoying. Yeah.
He was like all but blowing Harold the whole way there. Just, and he was talking about how great he was and
Such a great leader, a natural
Yeah,
leader, a
didn't
natural
he-
leader.
Didn't he say some people are born leaders, some people aren't? I was born a leader. It's like, shut
Really?
the fuck
No one wants
up.
to follow you, bro.
the
Because you're,
first-
you're kind of a dick.
the first thing that rubbed me wrong, my first contact I had with him was at the hotel, and I had my bow case,
Huh.
but I only brought it because it's like super hard, and I wanted to bring shit back so it didn't get crushed. And he's like, "Oh, what are you going hunting for?" And I'm like, "Some wild boar." And he's like, "Yo, no, do you hunt?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've been on a couple of hunts, some elk hunting." He's like, "Oh, have you ever shot anything?" I said, "No, not yet." And he goes, "Oh, you should see my trophy room. It's full of all kinds of stuff a real hunter would get." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay."
You
A
hunt in
little
a
bit of-
gate.
Fence hunting there, or yeah.
I've shot a couple small annoying people.
Well, he said most of the hunts he does are gated.
Yeah, but
So like your
is that-
farm hunting, let's
yeah.
go. You guys want to head over to the dairy farm hunt for a couple cows? Like I'd be down. Like, you
Yeah.
should see my trophy room.
Yeah.
Though. Like
I got the
Uh,
best steak ever.
Yeah, my dad's got this farm. There's a bull there, it's pretty big horns, so we should probably go check it out.
Mount that fucker.
Yes, sir.
Mount
That
the
would look great
testicles
over
with
here in the
tail
wall.
between.
Yeah, right there.
Right there. Yep, right behind you.
Big old pair
Some
of bull
trophy
testicles
room
with
right
the
here.
tail hanging
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. I mean, you could do like a shoulder mount, hang the testicles like off the bottom there.
Yep.
Definitely. Just put it all out there.
Yeah, he was. I don't know. I gotta say, Herb's buddy though, Arnold.
Arnold was
We
cool.
covered Schwarzenegger sometimes, like just to fuck with him. He'd just sit there, grin, chuckle a little bit, and go right back to what he was doing.
I
It was
would,
a lot of fun.
every time I walk in, a Arnold?
you still have that picture of me with Herb's glasses
Yeah, I
on?
do. If I can find it, I'll throw it up.
Well, do you remember the
I
time
put
we
his
had,
hat and his glasses
Yeah.
on, I think.
remember the time we had the MDS truck and we found the two little buoys or whatever they were and tied them to the back of the truck? That,
Oh, and
AKA
Don
truck
goes,
nut.
Yeah, Don goes nice balls.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember Arnold as we're walking out to the truck to get it work that morning. He just kind of looks at it, grins a little bit, and he's like, "All right." And then we go to work. But Don was the one that he's like nice balls, and then he made us take them off. But understandable. He's
I like the balls.
coordinator.
Take them off.
Oh,
We had a good time. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, all in all, like, when are we going back?
Yeah.
well, like I'd love to go. Like, I fell in love with the island, so I'd love to go back. But like, the airfare is killer.
Yeah.
So unless it was another FEMA trip, I don't know that I'll make it back there.
If somebody called me tomorrow and was like, "Hey, in 2 weeks from now, FEMA's going back over there,"
Oh, I put my name on the list.
I'd be right there. Like, you don't even have to ask me twice on that.
There's a couple more places that I want to scuba dive. Like,
Yeah.
and like Harold said, you're scuba diving over the weekend. Like, isn't the weekend our time?
Yeah, we can do what we want.
And I'm like, yeah, I came with all my equipment. Like,
Like, yeah, I'm gonna go
I'm
scuba diving.
going scuba diving. Oh, well, there's so much to see. Yeah, underwater.
Or do you guys go to that church where it was open?
Yeah, we went there.
Okay.
We made sure we made the Sunday service so
Yeah.
nobody could frown on us.
I was just gonna say you skipped out on it.
I
Like,
skipped.
Don asked where you were at, and then Herb was like, "Yeah, he should have been there."
Yeah, I skipped out on it the one time. I think the next time, didn't we walk out like halfway through?
Yeah.
But we were there, so I guess it counted. then the one time, I think it was on a Sunday evening, we were supposed to have like a supper thing, and I just kind of skipped out. I had been out doing my own thing, and he bitched me out for that a little bit, but we got
Pretty
over
much,
it.
he had to have some type of organization.
Right.
Otherwise, he'd have been like, "Where's everybody at when it's time to go?"
Well, we told him that like that
Yeah.
one night. I said we're gonna just pass on dinner because I don't want to hear about how much chicken I ate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't say that, but that's it was implied.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Don picked up on that. Like, he's not
Well,
dumb.
I said something to Don later on about it, about how Harold, just rubbed me the wrong way, and I didn't want to have another meal with him. And he was leaving the next day, so
Yeah.
okay, like I don't have to hook up
Yeah.
with you guys. I'll sit at home and not eat. But do you still have your flag?
I do.
I have it hanging in my office.
It's in my garage.
I have it hanging in my
Yep.
office, right behind my desk.
Yeah. I found them later on Amazon, so you can actually buy one on Amazon if you guys get one. So yeah.
technically,
It's
that
probably not
doesn't count.
$70.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can buy soju at the liquor store.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody's ever really. Lewisburg will probably.
It's in the wine section.
That's the thing. I never really walk around the wine section.
I never do either. And I asked the lady, I said, where can I find this? She goes, oh, it's over here with the wines. I'm like, well, why would it be with the wines? Well, she said, well, technically it's a rice wine
Yeah.
or a potato wine. And I'm like,
They
oh,
said it's called Soju.
so you.
Might have
Yeah.
to look. See if I can find some.
SOJU.
Here, I'm connected. I can.
Is it good just as is? Or do you guys make something make like a drink?
No, drink it just like that. Oh, no, I'm being tracked.
Duck, duck, go.
That was it.
Okay.
We had the pear was the best, I think.
The stuff that was made in Saipan was a little rough.
We had that too.
Purple sweet potato stuff.
Full of hair in your chest. Wait, did they have a grapefruit?
I think so.
Yes.
I think my favorite was the raspberry.
What? The one night we were at the supermarket
Yeah.
at what was it?
Yeah.
The supermarket. Anyway,
Right down there on the square.
we bought the soju. Should I always try this?
Yeah.
Joe Ten's Market.
Yep, that's
Joe
what it
Ten.
was.
Joe Ten.
And wasn't there?
Yep.
There was a couple other stuff we tried there.
Oh yeah, we got a bunch.
Fridge was pretty good stock. Pretty well
Yeah.
stocked.
Yeah, it was.
Well, weren't you guys cooking some stuff too?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I stopped at a local
He got that salmon.
Yeah,
Tuna.
that's what I
Tuna,
thought. I
yes.
tried a piece of
Same
that.
thing.
tuna. Yeah.
It's fish.
Then I went up to Irvin Arnold and was like, "Hey, I got some fresh tuna. You guys want it?" And they're like, "No,
Dude,
we wouldn't know what to do with
The
that."
thing that annoyed me about that is I know you dropped a good penny on that, and he goes around and he offered it,
Yeah, just try it.
and nah.
Yeah. Especially Herb would have just been like, it's above my.
You don't have a salad and a dessert with it, so I couldn't eat it.
Yeah.
I ended up giving it to Maria's husband.
Yeah.
And that's
Maria.
yeah. It was after we had that big meal. The guy had the like messed up face from the cancer.
He
Remember
drove like
him?
a newer Mazda 5.
That dude would show up every day and sweep up after we left.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
did what he
yeah,
could.
the first
Yeah.
house there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't
Can't
talk
remember what
much,
his
but you
name
could
was.
see a lot by his face.
Oh, we talked to him every day when he came in.
You couldn't really understand what he was saying. Though.
That's kind of, yeah.
Yeah, the first day he came in, I'm like, man, I wish I had my hearing aids because I can't distinguish anything what he's saying.
More of a mumble.
Yeah.
I got a picture of you climbing up for the coconuts too,
I do remember that.
and I got a picture of you on the freaking roof in a shirt and tie.
Yeah, I saw that picture. I think I have a picture of both of us.
Did you guys
Yeah.
ever make it down to that beach?
Down? Yeah, we walked down the one time.
Remember we tried
We
to
were
drive
going.
down there?
We were at the next house.
We tried to drive down there. And
Yeah,
it
we
just,
tried it. We did walk
and it
down the one
closed
day
in and-
though, but it wasn't. It was mostly rocky. Remember, we ate lunch down there.
Yeah, it's pretty much like rocks and it just drops.
Yeah, there was
Oh,
there
really?
was no beach. Like it
Oh.
looked cool from up top. But
You
there
could
was,
fish from like maybe 2 spots if you walk down far enough, because one was just down along the rocks, like just pretty much gone.
yeah, it was just like dead coral or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hmm.
It was nice, but like there was no beach.
wow, that's different than what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Well, we hiked out ahead, and it took them a good 20 minutes till they got down.
Right.
Like, it wasn't just right behind the house. Like, it looked like it's right behind the house, but you had to walk down through. There's a banana grove on the one side.
I wonder if the old MDS truck still lives.
I don't know. I was surprised it was there when when you guys were there.
That thing is still do a brake stand. You can lock it up and spin the one back wheel. One tire.
You can sing a back wheel.
Yeah.
Hey, spinning a back wheel is better than no wheels.
Yeah.
Pretty much, but yeah.
Little yet so far. Holy shit.
How long have we been talking?
Hour and a half
almost.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Not quite, because we got like 6 minutes, 5 minutes before.
Yeah. I was gonna say, do you have your photos of the trip on the computer?
On this computer?
Yeah.
If I'm connected, I can go to Google Photos.
Yeah, I was gonna say that'll pull up a bunch of memories. Holy crap.
Yeah, probably better not do that, but
definitely being on the roof was really cool.
Yeah.
To see a good view from up there.
And honestly, like, of all the houses we worked at, I think the first one would have probably been the one I would have liked to live at the most. Or it was the nicest location, I thought.
Yeah, I think that had probably the most potential.
Right.
Because, like, nothing was rotted out on it, really. Like, the second house, even though you're putting new shit in there, like, there was some stuff you could just, like...
It was still half rotted,
yeah.
They know the second house we had been at.
There's one right there.
Yeah, we can't. That's the one we don't show.
Why?
Oh, wait.
Why can't you show that one?
This one?
Yeah.
That's the extra. Those are stuff that I said I would not post.
Why?
I told Ben that. There's those with beer cans and stuff like that.
Ah.
Like, for this, it doesn't matter, but...
Yeah. You're not putting them on Facebook.
Who's that guy right there?
Remember we were up in the roof. Hey, you John.
That's me.
Old fun.
Is that a paper straw and plastic? Or?
It was a paper straw.
That's from the hotel.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is from the room. And the house is over here.
It's right.
This one.
Yeah,
You can
This
see
is-
the tarp from the roof.
This is when we first got there. That wasn't even on our radar yet, that house. We'll have a picture later when we have the... I don't know why these are all out of order. That's the Korea airport.
What do you guys think of the Chicago airport? It's the first time I ever boarded.
I've been there
Okay.
probably 20
It's
times.
unique as well.
Yeah. Detroit was cool because they had that train going through it. Like a monorail going through.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Oh, that was
I
the
thought
Krispy
this-
Kreme.
The South Korea airport.
That's Krispy Kreme donuts at Korea airport.
dude, that's like the first thing we noticed when we got off Tokyo. Like, they were all short.
Yeah.
Like,
Everybody had a mask on, just exactly for the Rona, obviously.
Oh, really?
Everybody had a mask, like Asian, Korean type, not stereotyping anybody, but they had like a lot of them masks.
I don't remember
what I
anybody
was
with a
getting at,
mask.
like, they all looked good up until, I don't know, maybe 30 or 40, and then they just looked really old.
There's the truck.
Yep, there she is.
Oh, yeah. Harold? Is it Harold in there?
That
Gonna suck up the AC, the bastard.
kind of looks like Harold.
That truck didn't have it.
There's their Kona.
Yeah.
Mimi.
That's it,
There's Harold's truck.
yeah. Right. That was a what, Beamer?
You see, you don't understand. I need a real big truck with good AC. I got a picture of
now,
Harold
what's
sitting
up,
down on
what's
that army roof frame thing there.
Kind of reminds you of like the short monkey.
Pretty much, yeah.
There's the ladder I moved 65 times.
64, actually.
That was Arnold.
Why did we do this in the beginning?
I don't know.
You idiot. Idiot. Look at that beautiful palm trees.
That was the one when we put a new roof on that because that was gone.
Yeah, that was the...
God damn, so many freaking hurricane straps.
There's one.
There's one there. Yeah.
Yeah, and that house, when I think of this one, I think of like intense heat. By the time we got to the second one, I was kind of used to it.
Yeah.
I didn't really...
The first 3 days, I work in a controlled office, 70 degrees year round. The first day we get there, I thought it was die. Because I passed out on the roof. The second day wasn't so bad. I started drinking more water. I think the one
Like the first couple hours were the worst, and then after a while you kind of got used to it. You just didn't move quite as fast.
I was all right till the second week. And we got to the second house, and I could not. I couldn't do it. I was just,
Look at John eyeballing him.
John's like, look at him, mate.
I was always saying shit to him too. Like he would just look at me.
The fuck out of him. Like, I think some of the shit you said to him, he had no idea what to say back because he just sit there and look at you and you go,
I took a picture like every 3 minutes while we were in that restaurant.
What did I
So
say?
I got the whole 100 or 360 degree.
I said something to Harold too his last day there about him being short. It's like, well, I guess you don't need to sit in the back of the row here, buddy. Or you don't need to kneel down. You just stand in front of all of us.
Now, what's that supposed to mean?
that is
Yeah.
And it's another thing I noticed, like the water there was super clear.
Yeah.
And you could see everything.
get ready for Harlan on the hood.
Wait for it.
I don't. They're all out of order. I don't know why. That's Tinian over there. Like I'm pretty sure I could swim over.
Are these photos going to show up on on the film?
No, I can put them up. You know what? I'll probably run that time lapse video that I took when we went up the top
Put
of
that
Chow.
up there, yeah.
See that picture wasn't there. I don't know why.
There's our chicken.
There's our chicken.
The whole chicken!
That's not a whole. That's like a. That's like 7 ones. Yeah.
Well, no, I got one was a spicy hot and one was a horseradish.
Okay.
So it made it one order. You got a half and half.
Right.
That was some of the best chicken.
That
I've
was
ever had.
John's. That's John's whole chicken.
That wasn't me. I didn't have that.
Yeah, he did.
No, I didn't.
Oh yeah.
I had the white chicken. That was yours.
Okay, I got it. You got
You
the
had the gay chicken with the greens on top.
Okay.
That we could do windows. Dude, we got custom glass custom.
Where the hell do you go to get custom glass cups like that?
The one shop there, he's been there before I came.
He must have, yeah, because that's not.
John knew his way around. Like, he knew everything.
There we go. We got Arnold over here.
Yep, that's the chicken slice.
Oh, look, they're right across from each other.
Looks like
He's
Colonel
a younger
Sanders.
version of
He
him.
looks like Colonel Sanders.
He kind of does.
But I think if
Everybody else with their half chickens. There's the Korean restaurant.
oh, they cooked it right in front of you.
You cooked it. They brought everything out there. You cooked it. That's how you got your meat and your dog meat and threw it up on there.
Dog meat, honey.
The pierogies?
Alright.
No, they were dumplings. There's the shirt guy.
There it is. Yep, right there.
That was the shit, bro.
We're in sweatpants.
How did you not die?
Yeah, wasn't
Actually,
that after we were
this-
wearing
this is
sleeveless
dude.
shirts?
They didn't have a thing
Yeah.
against sleeveless shirts. They just said we can't wear shirts without, we can't go without shirts.
Right.
And then
then
John told
Wait.
me after I leave, I'm not responsible for what you guys do.
He told me I had to put sleeves on.
Oh, okay.
He said I was not supposed to be sleeveless. I'm like, okay.
Well, we found out that when we started wearing those other
The
shirts,
long sleeve shirts,
they helped out.
it was actually much better.
Yeah, because it didn't put the sun so great.
Yeah.
right, wasn't the shirt tie, if I remember correctly, kind of a like,
Kind of pointed at that.
yeah, like, hey, there, I guess you said this worked, so, you know.
This was the best day ever. When it rained,
I remember that day.
You were
Oh.
literally standing out in the rain, just like not doing a thing, just sitting there looking up at the sky.
You were like, what kind of tin do you guys need up there?
Yeah.
Because we're in go mode.
yeah, when it because like that's how I can work normally. Like,
Yeah.
but when the heat hits me, it's just like
It wipes everybody.
that was down at the beach.
I think we've
Yeah.
John, Mike, Don, his wife, and then Arlen and Irv, Arnold. Okay. Wasn't there more people? Where's the, this is the first week.
That
was
was
the
the
first-
second week. We
That was
got,
the first week you guys were there. Our second week.
Yeah,
There was Tom and
great.
We got Tom and Grace, and then the Canadians, they showed up. It was the third week we were there, I think.
That was a good night.
Yeah.
Hey, that was a good night.
That's when we got smart with the shirts.
Yeah. But at some point there should
Wait,
be...
go back one. He zoom in. He see Harold in the truck.
Yeah. He's on the
probably
phone.
in there.
AC crank, just hanging out, nothing doing.
Do you think he was actually talking to somebody on the phone, or
No.
that was just his way to?
That was just his way of not doing anything. I'm the boss. I don't have to work.
Yeah. I want to know what he did in his previous life. Like,
Yeah, he was the manager of a store bigger than Walmart.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, a store bigger than Walmart. Which was it? I never heard of it.
Yeah, I never heard the store name. I didn't really push the
MacArthur's.
Is that what it was?
No.
call McDonald's. They're bigger than Walmart, though.
What do you mean, a bigger joke, or?
Yeah. I got a piece of work.
There he is.
There it is.
On both of them.
Yeah, that was a lot of work for like 2 coconuts, but
But it was worth it.
totally.
That roof looks good.
Did we end up making
Of course it
mugs
looks
out of the
good, like-
coconuts? Hey.
That's Tapa Chow.
Yeah.
There's heavy breathing, John.
Well, I can't do it as well.
There's a lot of land up top by Tapa Chow where I think it's completely undeveloped. Like, can you imagine
Just a
putting like
drone.
a little house
yeah.
in there and having a dirt bike? Who's that geek?
Not sure, kind of the flower shirt. He's probably a tourist.
Probably.
Maybe Chinese.
Obviously.
I always like that picture.
Yeah, that was a good view from up there. Like, kind of gave you an idea of a sense of how small the island actually was.
No, and the other batch of pictures is when I was taking pictures of my girl when she was walking up.
Which one?
The Chinese tourists, don't you remember that? As they're walking up.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah, I like that picture. The thinker.
Yeah. Back on the car. That's for rental.
What's a rental? Like, you can't.
That's what we say every time.
Well, yeah. That's how we justify it. A lot of dumb shit we do, but it's okay though.
But you notice if you're ever gonna buy a vehicle, don't buy one from Enterprise.
What was the other one? Hertz. Don't buy one from them.
What did we do that?
That was
we came back with bald tires.
Yeah.
No, I'm not even kidding you. Like, we
Like,
had to stop
legit.
beside the road, borrow some gentleman's knife so we could cut off one of the cords on the tires because it's that.
Yeah, it was like whipping
my
around and
God.
like hitting the fender
Scratching
well.
up the side. It took the inside of the
Yeah.
fender well out.
Amazing what you can fix with duct tape and zip ties, which we didn't. Not
This
on that
was
one,
the
but-
Japanese base camp for HQ.
What I found really unique about the Japanese equipment was a lot smaller and more compact. Everything they had, kind of, I thought.
I mean, America, so
Go big or go home.
I think they were running out of a lot of resources too. It's like their Arasaka rifle. Like towards the end, it didn't even have sights on it, and it was. I think it was like missing a whole bunch of shit. It was like very crude.
yeah.
But,
It was basically point and shoot.
Yeah.
Putting in the general direction.
This John said, I can fix that.
A little bit of duct tape. That's actually where we were out with the truck. Go back one, wasn't it?
No,
That's Suicide Cliff. or Bonsai
Oh,
Cliff.
never mind.
No, that's
Yeah.
not it.
Nope.
I mean, it looked very similar to that, but where we were, there was a little bunker there, right down by the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They literally have square holes cut out in the stone.
Could you imagine if you would have drove that truck off the cliff into the water? Could you imagine explaining that one?
And not really. I would rather not, but I can see
think
that
I would have
happening.
just went with somebody took the truck.
It got stolen. Well, no, that wouldn't work there. The island's not
Too
big
small.
enough to.
Yeah. Where'd you find the truck? Outside of Bonsai Cliff.
That's Suicide Cliff up
Yeah,
there.
the other thing I like the fact that like you could see the holes in the side of the cliff yet
Yeah.
from.
You guys go swimming there?
I
Yeah,
went
was
down there.
I did the last time I was. I didn't go. I didn't walk down all those steps this time.
This is a good time, but the one when we were in there with like a couple of the Canadians, it washed us around that rock in the center. I'm like, yeah, not with the. It was a little turbulent, but it was right after the typhoon.
I was in there the one afternoon where I had the car myself. I actually went in there after hours with two of the locals that I met there. They were like, yeah, we're going down here. I'm like, sure.
No, why not?
Remember what those
Yeah.
are called?
No.
The lattes.
Yeah, that's a latte.
Wait, what?
And they
Yeah,
always
That
had
building's called a latte.
No, the pillars are called lattes.
Is it built by Starbucks?
Yes.
Perfect.
they
And it-
always have the pillars in those, don't they? Or something like that.
Or a form of them. They don't always
Yeah.
look like that. That it was like they're really strong, and I guess they help
That was
keep
the
like rats and shit out of there.
Chinese cave or whatever.
Yeah.
Or not, whatever.
I
it
kept
was.
on making a noise. There's people coming up. They're like,
Chupacabra.
Was that the road that leads down to the recycle plant or like the waste plant?
I don't know if we went all the way down the road. I think we turned around.
Well, the waste plant, that road, that's where we had going down the truck.
It goes downhill for a while and then it drops off.
That's the
There we
cows.
go. There's
Oh, yes, sir.
These girls were standing there doing some kind of anime, like, art, kicking their legs, and he was up. He goes, take my picture.
I mean, what else is new?
Sunset hard hands. That's up on Suicide Cliff. Well, that's a dump down there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
why
that
did
what that
you?
was?
We ended up going to
God,
the
there's,
left
like,
of that and
nothing
then down.
there.
through.
Yeah, we were probably, I'd say, right there, about over. Yep.
There's roads down there and shit.
It's kind of a trail.
Well,
They were after they were done.
Yeah.
there is a road now.
The beast.
Yeah, I drive and Harlan sat up on the roof looking for like another place to turn.
Yeah. I was riding on the roof probably half the way back until we were outside of like the town there.
Well,
that wasn't quite that far.
A cop passed us one place and like shook her finger at us.
Yeah.
One time. We're like, all right, that's what I like about
That's
it.
awesome.
Like,
They're like, yeah. whatever.
everybody's so lenient. Like,
Yeah.
all right, knock
And
your
the other
shit
thing
off.
I think that helped is the fact that the truck had MDS stickers on it, like.
MDS, we do what we want, motherfucker.
We're above the law. And I just sound like Harold.
There it is. There's the tuna. Look how freaking fresh that is.
Yeah.
I think the guy told me he's like, oh, you could eat that as sashimi. We did like raw.
Yeah.
I'm not
Just the
good-
open air
I'm good on
church.
that.
No, yeah.
That was unique. That was nice. I think so. If we did it in Pennsylvania right now, nobody's talking.
Kidding me? I'd be front row.
Open air and 2 degrees.
You betcha.
Jesus Christ.
Who's that fat bastard? Oh, that's John. There's an
Yeah.
empty water bottle because we weren't allowed any more water.
You just drink your own urine.
Yeah, pretty. Like, why did he care how much
Because the
water you
water's
guys were using?
expensive.
The guy was just a stickler on every count.
Yeah.
you could drink right there. Get a drink right there. Yeah, but then he wanted to use. Remember, he wanted to use her water faucet out back.
Yeah.
And they get charged for that.
Yeah. Alright, now I'm hungry.
And with that, we'll wrap up. That was the termites.
Yeah, that
yeah.
was horrible. Didn't you guys knock that out or just frame
We
it
took
over-
that out, yeah. They didn't want us to take it out. They want us to build right over it. I'm like, I can't build right over that.
So was that the back wall or the center wall?
That was in the middle. That's one of the bedrooms.
That was one of the support walls, wasn't
Yeah.
it? For like the
Yeah, so yeah, you pretty much tore the center walls out completely there.
There he is.
Tom and Grace.
Tom and Grace.
Yeah, Tom, right at first I did not know quite how to take him, but
He was cool.
He was
I
a
liked
nice
him.
guy.
Took me a day or two, so I kind of got. Well, I mean, this does anybody.
Like right at first I wasn't sure if he was gay or not, but that's just rude. I'm sorry. I hope he doesn't listen to this, but
I'm probably sure he's not. All those joist hangers. 10 nails in each one.
mm-hmm.
Thank God for the palm nailers.
Yeah, without them, I don't know what we would have done.
What did you guys get done today? Well, we hung 8 pearls. Isn't that what it's called? I think it's proper term.
Something like that.
Yeah, Perlin.
There it is.
Yeah, from the hotel.
Yep.
Did you guys eat any of that?
Is that the one you weren't supposed to eat?
No. When I was in St. Croix, a lady, we were doing her house, and it was an older lady, Dutch, and all we did was tarp her roof for her. And we weren't supposed to do it, but the guy said, I can't leave that roof like that. And she was just so happy that we tarped her roof. She made us Johnny cakes. She made us some fresh iced tea, and she brought one of these out. And she called it a sweet apple. But you take that outside thing off, you take it off, and each one of those chunks has a seed in it. But you just take the whole thing, put it in, and just spit the seed out. Oh my God! And I don't like fruit, but that was nice and sweet and good and yummy.
See, I don't think I had any of that. Was that the first week you guys were there? Or?
No, this is right before we left, I think.
Okay.
Geico has their emblem.
That's when we were eating at the beach.
Yeah, remember we were pointing out they only had like every other one or something?
Yeah.
Hey guys, they don't have enough of Perlin.
Yeah, like, look at that. They're gonna. Yo, that's a strong roof.
It is. We were both up there. I was so happy we got that front part of that and that back part of the roof done before we left.
Yeah, we decided to keep going when it started raining.
When are you gonna fly your drone over that and get a video of that before you left? And then we ended up sleeping in.
I think so. Yeah, I did. I didn't get a close video. I got a video like farther away, but it's running out of battery. I was gonna do it the next day, and yeah, it didn't happen.
This is when we're on the roof.
Wasn't that when Dennis came up?
Yeah.
There having
yeah.
Hey, how'd you cats get up here?
Like,
Yeah.
go away.
All you cool cats and kittens.
Yeah.
There's the Hummer you guys were going to steal.
Definitely thought of that.
Oh yeah, I like to this day still want a Hummer just because. I don't know what I'd do with one, but it would be
Honestly,
awesome.
I think it'd end my road rage.
Yeah, I don't
Or
know.
make it worse.
Now somebody cuts me off, you just run them over. You have a Hummer. You can't do anything.
Well, they can run away from you because your Hummer goes about 45.
Get a twin turbo diesel.
Yeah, true. Then you need some. Yeah, anyway.
This was our night out.
Yeah, Hooker Alley.
Yeah, but I will say though, like right down from the hotel to the left, that little restaurant.
That's it.
It was probably one of my favorites.
Yeah,
Right
the one down by the beach.
They had a fish steak.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
That was
yeah.
a really good place.
Now, since these will never air, I can go to the ones that with the extras. I don't know why some of these were put on the back burner. Oh, beer can.
Wait, that's the Saipan bottle? Did you bring that back or not?
I did not bring it back.
You should have.
Oh, no.
That's a good one.
That would have been great up there.
Edition, yeah, for the
Well, here's the thing. I guess we have to go back so we can get some.
Yep.
Saipan. Well, actually, when I went there the first time, I found out there was a Saipan brewing because we were at Joe Ten's Market, and I saw the.
Yeah.
That's why that's on the extra reel.
I mean, I definitely would have took that photo twice.
So I went on Facebook, found them, contacted them. I actually went down to their brewery and did like a little tour. They gave me a taste of every single beer they'd made for the last 18 months.
Wow. It's awesome. That's a nice Mustang. You guys see that in the
very
back?
nice car. It was.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a Porsche.
Yeah.
That's a Porsche.
2 Mustangs and a porch.
And a Porsche.
Good looking porch, though. I mean, definitely.
I would definitely mount that.
There's John with his with her stuff on.
Yeah, one thing I wish we would have done a little more. I mean, I wish we would have got into like the history side of things a little bit more. We saw a lot of sites, but
you didn't really know the background.
Yeah, I didn't really know any of the background. Like it would have been interesting.
We covered a lot of stuff. Everybody knows everything about Saipan now.
Yeah, all in all, mission trips, a good time. Would definitely recommend it. I mean,
I'd give it a 10 out of 10. I still have not found a better place than Saipan. You know, like I went to Florida recently. There's no comparison.
No,
I don't know
like
how
I said,
I don't know how I'm going to top that one off though.
Yeah, his first one was probably the best.
Wow.
It was. It's I fell in love with it when I was there the first time, and I was so glad I got to go back. I'd love to go back again, do the work, but also just see the island. It's just beautiful.
The island's beautiful, and it's just the nature, the people, everybody's kind of blunt, but really open.
Yeah.
Seems like they don't really like the fast-paced life that like I'm used to, which is annoying sometimes. Like they're like, whoa.
Yeah, slow it down. Yeah.
Like we're not about that. Like,
well, kind of like Jesse told us, I'll be there in 20 minutes. 45 minutes later, Jesse rolls up, ready to go. Yeah, time isn't really like something that's dead on. I'll be there shortly.
Not consumed with all the material things.
They're definitely on island time.
yeah.
All right, so we did it. We went out and took on the world. Now you guys can go out and take on the world too. Hold on, stop.
Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, Boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that. Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill.
Oh, this is gonna go downhill real quick.